Hello and welcome back to Cappy Corner. We are going to talk about the Remsen Stakes on Saturday at Aqueduct, and I plan to do a video for each Derby points race, but if I miss 1 week or two, I won't lose any sleep over it. In any case, let's go over the Remsen Stakes, and let's talk about the possible favorite, Talkin. I'm not sure if he'll be the favorite, but he does come out of a Grade 1. Let's talk about him. Now, Talkin exits the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes. He lost by 6.5 lengths. Let's take a look at the Champagne Stakes and see what Talkin did. And I want to make a point about his early position. Look at the fraction, 44.24. That was a blazing fraction for 4 furlongs. And Talkin was at the back here. He's the number 9 horse. However, I think it was a result of the fractions that he was in that position. I think Talkin has more speed than that. In his career debut at 7 furlongs, he was in the stalking position only 2 lengths off the leader. And I think he was at the back here because they were going so fast. Now let's take a look at the stretch run. I like the fact that Talkin keeps grinding it out. He's on the outside, and he's going to mow down It's Our Time in front of him. And we also have Universe on the rail. He's making his move too. And Talkin keeps trying, even though the race is out of play for the win spot. Talkin keeps trying, and he's going to pass It's Our Time. He's going to pass. He's going to stay in front of Universe at the rail, and he's going to get the second spot in the Champagne Stakes. So I thought that was a good effort. It's Our Time didn't pan out. He lost his next start. However, Universe did finish third in the Kentucky Jockey Club, and so I think that's a good sign. And I also like Talkin's pedigree. Good Magic, you have Curlin as a grandsire, and you have Tiz now as a dam sire. The Dam Rote is a half sister to a Magnificent Song. I want to mention her quick, because she was a turf router who won races like the Lake George, the Garden City. She won up to 9 furlongs. So I think this is an all stamina pedigree, and 9 furlongs should be great for the Son of Good Magic. Talkin is my choice in this race. Now let's talk about a couple of other horses that you might consider for underneath spots. There are a number of horses exiting maiden races who might get my consideration for an underneath spot. The first one is Paladin, and Paladin was second in his career debut, but he was moved to first through disqualification. He cost $1.9 million. It's obviously a great pedigree. Gunrunner, Tapit, Damsire, Chad Brown trains, and I'm sure he will improve in his second start. Well, he might improve in his second start. The pace scenario might be a tough one. I do expect the outside horse Balboa to heat up the pace a little bit. Now let's talk about down here Grittiness. Grittiness was second to Courting, who was his stablemate. And I don't know about this one. I mean, you could make the argument for him. Curlin over an Oxbow mare, Coach Rocks. I do recognize that name. Sounds like a familiar Kentucky Oaks name from a couple of years ago. I don't know if I trust Rapoli Stable. Whenever Rapoli Stable enters a maiden in a stakes race, they tend to fare poorly, but who knows? Maybe this one could get a piece, third or fourth. I don't know if he's for me, but I just wanted to point him out. Now let's talk about Courting, the $5 million Curlin colt. Courting's speed figures might not look that great at first. He earned a 73 while breaking his maiden on November 9. However, you have to watch the race because Velasquez didn't really ask him for much in the stretch. Just watch his hands. He didn't really do more than tap the horse a couple of times. And I thought the race was good visually, even though it's only a 73 on Breeze. Now, for the career debut where he lost by 2.25 lengths to Igniter, you have to watch that race as well. Courting looked like he had run. He just didn't want to move through the group of horses in front of him. There were 3 horses in front of Courting. In mid-stretch, it looked like Courting had enough run to possibly contend for the lead, but he didn't have a clear way through. And sometimes you get that with horses making their career debuts. They don't want to move through traffic because it's a new experience for them. And so I could forgive that as well. Just from watching Courting, I think he could run. He's going to be in my exacta. Now let's go down to Igniter, who I said beat Courting in that September 27 race. I want to give Igniter some credit. He did the pace work in that race, and he won by a length. And you can see that the runner-up Rebel Instinct did go on to break his maiden. Again, though, I feel like Courting could have caught him if he had a clear path. And my gut feeling is that Courting is the better horse, even though Igniter won that race. Rick Dutrow does train Igniter. You always have to respect him at Aqueduct. Let's go down to Renegade. Renegade has a nice pedigree. Into Mischief over the Curlin mare Spice is Nice. It feels like Spice is Nice was only from a couple of years ago. And here she is. I don't know if this is her first foal or second foal, but Renegade broke his maiden, or he was placed second through DQ to Paladin on October 17. And so I think he has ability as well. If he's going to be in either a stalking position or a mid-pack position, he loses Velasquez to a courting, which is interesting, but he does pick up Irad Ortiz, so fair trade, I guess. Renegade, he's going to be in my exacta as well. I want horses that are either going to be stalking or mid-pack. And this one will either be, around 4th or 5th, around there. And I think he'll pass some tired horses in the stretch. Even if the pace is moderate, I don't know if it'll matter much with these 2-year-olds because their stamina isn't built up yet. So even if the pace is slow, I think it'll be hard on the front runners because they have to go 9 furlongs for the first time, and that's not an easy task. Now, I want to talk about Balboa, who could heat up the pace a little bit. Balboa used to be trained by Bob Baffert, who everyone knows trains for speed. He got transferred to Brittany Russell, and he did show speed in his debut for Brittany Russell in a sprint at Laurel Park, in a 6 furlong sprint, and now he switches to 9 furlongs. Is he really going to rate after showing good speed in a 6 furlong race at Laurel? I don't know about that. I think it's going to be hard to rate Balboa if they try. So I do think Balboa can show some speed and make it hard on horses like Igniter and Paladin if they try to show speed and keep up with him. Balboa will be up there, but I don't think he's going to last. And I expect him to fade in the stretch. And we come back to Tonkin. Again, Tonkin is my choice in the Remsen Stakes. And if I were to make an exacta, I would probably choose Courting and Renegade just because they're either going to be in a stalking or mid-pack position. But Tonkin is my top choice based on class, his pedigree, and I just think he has ability. He has to be considered the best in this race based on his Grade 1 placing. So Tonkin is my choice. Let's move on to the Cigar Mile, and we'll talk about the pace scenario in that race and give some quick picks. Phileas Fogg is the possible favorite for the Cigar Mile. He loves to show speed, as seen from his running lines, even though he's getting back to 1 mile in this race. I do think he'll show good speed at 1 mile. We saw last year in that optional claimer on September 26th. He did contest a lead, and he opened up, and he won that race, of course, but I do think there's significant speed in this race. Let's go down and take a look at the 3-year-old from Laurel Park, Mika. Mika was transferred from Brittany Russell to Michael Maker. Will he show the same kind of speed under Michael Maker? I would think so. I mean, I don't know if there was enough time to train him a different way. His last start was on November 16. And look at the running line. He opened up by 5 lengths by the first call, 6 lengths by the second call, and then he opened up by 14 lengths at the end. Now, maybe he was facing overmatched opponents, but still, Brees gave the first call a +9. The pace figures on Brees were 104 and 107, so I do think he was motoring. And the only way this horse knows how to run is run on a lead and win. And so why would Michael Maker try to change that? I do think he's going to show good speed as well. And it'll be interesting to see how Mika and Phileas Fogg coexist up front in this race. So there's a chance a closer or a mid-pack horse or even a stalker could win this race. The 2 horses I want are Doc Sullivan. Now, he's usually in a pressing position, but I do think he could stalk as well. Actually, it's a mixture. He could stalk, he could be a presser. And in his last start, he was a presser, but the pace wasn't that fast. We see back in the Forgo Stakes, he was about 2 lengths off the pace, 4 lengths off the pace, and he ended up 4th by 2 3/4 of a length to Bookham Dano. So that horse is a good horse, and I think finishing 4th by 2 3/4 of a length in a Grade 1 shows that Doc Sullivan has some class to him. And I think he'll be in a stalking position in this race. He's one of the horses that I want. And I think he'll be a good price. Now we can also go down to Crazy Mason. Crazy Mason might be a bit more popular. He was second in the Vosburg. He was third in the Forgo, the same one where Doc Sullivan was fourth. And this is just a consistent closer that always comes at the end, except in the Bing Crosby where he was sixth. So this is a good horse, and I think 1 mile is a fine distance, especially a one-turn mile. And Crazy Mason is going to be in my ticket. I think Crazy Mason, if it heats up front, Crazy Mason could make a run at them. And if it doesn't heat up that much, maybe Doc Sullivan will be close enough. And those are the two horses I want with Talkin in the Remsen stakes. So I might make a double Remsen stakes, Cigar Mile double, maybe Talkin with Crazy Mason and Doc Sullivan, and hopefully the favorite Phileas Fogg can lose this race. We'll see. But those are my thoughts, my quick thoughts on the Cigar Mile. Thanks for watching my video on the Remsen and Cigar Mile, and I'll see you guys soon.